An interesting new study out empowering women to go ahead and ask for that raise. According to researchers in Canada, only 34% of women asked for a raise within the last year, but those who did demand more money, 80% got it. Now, back with us today is executive coach and psychologist Dr. Lisa Orbe-Austin. And Dr. Austin, what do these results say about women in the workforce?
I mean, women definitely have a greater apprehension to negotiate for salary. And I think it's really important to recognize that oftentimes we've been conditioned to believe, like, put our heads down, work hard, and we will be rewarded. And then 20% of us never have ever negotiated our salaries in our entire careers. And I think what's interesting is that we tend to be good negotiators, but on behalf of others, often our employees, our children, but not ourselves.
Those are some interesting numbers. Can you talk about the missed opportunity for so many women who simply aren't asking for that money? What do you think is contributing to the factors that are holding them back?
Yeah, I mean, I think, we can negotiate for all kinds of things, flexibility, more direct reports, all kinds of things. But I think it's never bad to it's never good to underestimate the power of negotiation. Research studies showed that women who consistently negotiate their salary make $1 million more than their counterparts over their careers. So it's really important to recognize that, negotiating your salary can be incredibly important. And I think part of what's behind it is that there is a real social backlash for women who do negotiate. Another study found that when women have a leverage point, like another job, they're 3 times more likely to end up in an impasse in the conversation than men are. So there's real serious consequences often to our negotiation. So I think it's really important to recognize that we're not often fearing things that are actually real.
Yes, and we all have to talk about some of that. Why do you think that men have an easier time asking for a raise?
Yes, statistics show that they tend to be more successful and get more in raises than women do. And also they just tend to negotiate more often, probably because it's beneficial on their behalf. And they tend to directly ask for what they want, which sometimes doesn't benefit us because of other things going on.
All right. So what tips do you have for a woman right now sitting there who maybe hasn't done it and really does deserve or want to ask for more money, kind of to empower herself?
Yeah, so I do think it's really important to recognize that it's really important to prepare. Data shows that when you are prepared, you're more likely to be successful. So when you've been trained and you know how to do it. I think it's also important to recognize that women tend to not know what the actual comps are for their position in the field. So ask as many people as you possibly can to get a sense of what the job title tends to kind of yield. I think it's also important to recognize that it can be a collaborative, not adversarial experience to incorporate we language. And then also to remember that you should have a goal in mind and always to start higher than that goal. And chances are you probably are underpaid based on the statistics. So it's never a bad thing to consider when you should, consider asking for a raise.
All right. Dr. Lisa, thanks so much for all those advice and those tips. Make sure you guys check her out on Instagram, Dr. Orbe-Austin. And she has a new book out that we talked about, Your Unstoppable Greatness. Make sure you check it out.